What's going on, everyone? I'm back here with another unboxing video, and today I'm going to be unboxing a lens that I picked up off of eBay. Specifically, it is the Nikon 135mm f2.8 manual prime lens. This is actually a vintage lens. I believe it was produced between the 1960s and the 1970s, so that's pretty cool. And I paid about $55 with free shipping, so that's pretty good considering. Now, it does have some slight issues. The lens itself has a little bit of cosmetic damage, such as scratches and stuff like that on the outside, but the lens glass should be very clean. It also did include the front and rear lens cap, so this is actually the rear lens cap right here, so it's nice that that's included. And they did say that it includes a filter as well. I believe it's called a warming filter. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. So let's go ahead and cut into the box and see what we got in here. Alright, there we go. So let's go ahead and get this out of here. And it looks like there's a lot of packing peanuts on here. Get those out of the way. So here is the lens. It looks like it comes in a little kind of carrying pouch, which that's kind of a nice little addition that they've added here. So let's go ahead and get it out of the little pouch. Slide that off. There we go. And there is the lens. As you can see right away, there is definitely some noticeable cosmetic damage. Like I said, there's quite a bit of scratches on the outside of the lens body, but that does not affect the image quality, of course. Another issue with this lens is the built-in lens hood is not present, so the built-in lens hood is not included with this lens, unfortunately. Taking a look at the lens itself, the weight of it is about, I would say about a pound, maybe a pound and a half. So it's kind of a hefty little lens, but at the same time it stays relatively compact for that length that you're getting. So again, this is a 135mm f2.8. So it's a consistent f2.8 aperture. And this is an all-manual lens as well. So if you mount this on a modern Nikon DSLR, it will be an all-manual lens. So focus, as you can see here, is completely manual. So you have to twist the focus ring to get the exact focus that you want. And same thing goes for the aperture. So the aperture is a manual control as well. So as you can see, it has kind of like a hard stop, so it clicks into place. So you can go all the way open from f2.8 and stop it all the way down to f22. So that's a pretty nice aperture range. So it's also a really fast lens because of the wide f2.8 aperture. And this is also a non-AI lens. So this cannot be mounted on higher-end Nikon DSLRs, such as the Nikon D7000 series, as well as some other high-end FX format cameras as well. So you do not want to try to mount this lens on any of those cameras. Now, if you have a lower-end camera, such as a D3000 series or a D5000 series, this lens will mount just fine, and you'll have no issues whatsoever. So basically, the issue with the higher-end models is this little metal bracket here that sticks out. And essentially, when you mount this on a higher-end DSLR, this little bracket kind of bends a little pin that sticks out on the camera body itself. And another thing that will break the camera is the actual mount itself. As you can see, it doesn't have any drop downs. And because of that, that will also damage a little pin that sticks out of the camera body, just like I said with this little metal bracket. So there are two separate things that could seriously damage your camera, so do not try to mount this on any of those higher-end DSLRs, because you will break it and you'll have to get it repaired, which will be not fun. But anyway, back to some of the other things this lens can offer. So here's the focus. So it can focus all the way from infinity as close to 1.5 meters or 5 feet. So you have to be at least 5 feet from your subject for this to be able to focus, which is actually a pretty long distance, to be honest. Some other lenses can focus much closer than that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the front element, as well as the rear element so we can kind of take a look at how it looks. So we can see actually the glass is really clean considering this lens's age. Yeah, there might be a few dust particles on the inside, on some of the inside elements, which is kind of to be expected. And then if we turn it around, you can see the backside element is not too bad either. There's no scratches at all. So whoever had this lens kept the glass really clean and in good shape. And then if we also want to kind of mess with the apertures, so if you want to twist the aperture ring, we can see the aperture blades change dynamically as you twist that aperture ring. So that's one of the advantages of having an all-manual lens, because you can have full control over everything. And it's nice to have full manual control over the aperture in a lot of cases, especially for people that use this lens for video. Another thing, the lens can also take filters. So the front element filter thread is a 52 millimeter. So if you have any 52 millimeter filters, they will all fit perfectly on the front of this lens. So that's nice. Here is that filter that I was talking about earlier that is included. So again, this is a 52 millimeter thread size, so this will fit perfectly. But basically, this filter, what it does is, you can see there's a slight orange tint to it. And essentially what this will allow you to do is give you a warmer color to your pictures. Now, this really isn't necessary for modern DSLRs because they're digital, and you can change that by adjusting the white balance. So you can basically get a warmer photo by adjusting the white balance to be towards the warmer spectrum. So this really isn't something that you really need to use necessarily. So let me go ahead and compare it to another old vintage Nikon lens. This one here is the Nikkor Series E 50mm f1.8. This one I picked up for around $45 off of eBay. You could pick them up for a really good cheap price. I would highly recommend this lens. I mean, it produces some incredibly sharp images. But yeah, as you can see, the size difference is quite dramatic. This lens is considered a pancake lens, as most people call it. Putting it up next to this one, there's a massive size difference. And this one is a much lighter as well. But also, it too is a completely manual lens. So as you can see, it's got the manual aperture control down at the bottom, and then the manual focusing as well. So that's a pretty cool lens. I would definitely, again, highly recommend picking this up. So let's go ahead and give you guys a look at what it looks like mounted on a modern DSLR camera. So the camera that I'm going to be mounting this with is the Nikon D5500. So like I said earlier, mounting this lens on this particular camera will work just fine because it doesn't have those weird little pins sticking out that cause issues with the mounting of the lens. So you're not going to damage anything, which is good. So basically, mounting this lens is relatively simple. You just gotta find the little black dot. As you can see, the black dot right there above the 2.8. Just align that up with the white dot on your camera. And as you see, there you go. Twist it, and the camera is now mounted onto the lens. And there you go. That is what the lens looks like mounted on a modern DSLR. And because, again, this is a manual lens, the camera does not meter, so you cannot meter the light in the specific location that you're shooting in. So you have to either use an external light meter or just guess the settings for that particular area that you're at, which isn't too hard. If you're somewhat experienced with a camera, that shouldn't be too hard for you. But yeah, that is basically it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below. It is greatly appreciated. Hit that like button as well. And if you guys have any comments, questions, or anything such as that, drop a comment below and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. So yeah, with that all being said, hope you guys have enjoyed once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.